A story we've been tracking for days. The BLM is up to old tricks, this time a gold mining claim in Oregon. I reached out to Oath Keepers founder Stuart Rhodes and Mary Emmerich, the Josephine County Oath Keepers Public Information Officer, to get the facts on this edition of Breaking Point on the Next News Network. So, what do we know right now? We know the BLM is attempting to force gold miners off a plot of land they've been using for nearly 140 years. And reports have surfaced that the BLM threatened to burn down buildings on site if the miners don't vacate the claim. We also know that the independent militia from coast to coast has been called up to once again ensure that due process is upheld and to prevent the BLM assault on the miners. However, we know all too well that the government has no problem burning down buildings and avoiding due process. We saw it in Waco 22 years ago when they indiscriminately murdered women and children. We also know, according to two affidavits posted at oathkeepers.com, that while serving cease and desist orders, a BLM official only identified as Danny openly declared that he had issues with the Constitution. It's not yet confirmed if Danny is the same Dan Love from the Bundy Ranch standoff. Meanwhile, Sheriff David Daniels stated the BLM are not taking action at this time. And BLM Special Agent Mike Swindon also stated the BLM is standing down. However, people close to the situation are requesting that all parties interested in preserving the Constitution remain on standby because of the BLM's history of deceptive and dishonest tactics. Stuart Rhodes confirmed these facts when I spoke to him just moments ago.
Well, I think this is part of the same pattern we've seen all across the West and all across the country, where you have, whether it's farmers, miners, loggers, it's the same agenda to drive the people off the land who've been working the land for generations and deprive them of their livelihood and their independence and force them into cities. This has been the agenda for a long time. So this is just one more example of it. But, you know, the people are starting to push back, and I think that's what has to happen. We need to have nullification and unified communities standing up against things like it. It's unfortunate that the sheriff so far has not taken a hard stand in defense of the rights of the miners, and that's not good, because then if the sheriff won't do it, then the people have to step in. This is what happened down at Bundy Ranch, right? You had a sheriff Gillespie, who was a total rollover for the feds and did not stand up for the rights of the Bundy family, and that left them no recourse but to call on their cowboy buddies and other supporters from around the country to go there. A bunch of veterans went there and support them. This is kind of similar. You know, sheriff, he said they're mediating, but, you know, he should be standing up for the rights of the miners. And BLM has a pattern in that area of the country of just burning cabins to the ground. And in fact, in the past, there have been deaths involved in that kind of activity, where they lit a cabin on fire and someone's died. So the miners don't trust them, and they're very concerned that BLM is just going to come in heavy-handed. So our goal is to make sure the miners have their day in court and have due process. And so our guys, you know, we haven't had a conversation yet, and that's not what we consider this. But because of the pattern of behavior in the BLM and the federal government, unfortunately, we're not going to let these people get Waco'd the same way as a Bundy Ranch. We didn't want that family to have the boot dropped on them either. So, you know, it'd be great if we lived in a country where the government respected the rights of the people and went through the process of giving them a chance to fight the legal fight before they go and do things. But that has not been the pattern. They just go seize cattle, they go burn down cabins. You know, this is the pattern of behavior. And when you're in an environment like that, I think it's incumbent on all of us to stand up and defend our nation.
Earlier this week, we reported on a situation that looks like it may be coming to a head in just over a week. Some miners in southern Oregon have been given a deadline to clear out of a mine that they've had since the 1870s. There's a clear chain of title, and the miners are asking for a legal explanation from the BLM, and they're not getting it. Oath Keepers have taken up a defensive posture there, one of providing security to try to make sure that nothing is going to happen until they can hear this through the court system. We're going to talk to Kirby Jackson from the Gleese Mining District. He's going to define for us what the mining district is. You'll be surprised. It's not just an association. He's also going to give us a history of what's been going on in the area, and you're going to see yet again how in 21st century America, bureaucracies are taking upon themselves to not only write the laws, but enforce the laws and have their own court systems. We no longer have a government of buy-in for the people. We have a government of bureaucrats who are running this by themselves, for themselves, to create their empire. So joining us now is Kirby Jackson from the Gliese Mining District. I think people need to see this in the proper context. They need to understand that this is part of the government's operations to shut down everybody's business, whether you're a small-time miner or whether you're a small-time retailer or a small-time manufacturer. They want to get the people out of it.
I do want to clarify something there. It's actually not BLM's land. This is actually land that this is actually land that is administrated and managed by the United States government for the benefit of the American people.
I misspoke. Yes, that's a very good point. It's not their land.
Under the Constitution, the federal government is very limited in what it can own, and basically this is where the mining law came in and the Homestead Act came in, is that basically the government was required under the law to dispose of this land, and basically what that means is pass into private ownership and basically allow the average person to benefit from it and basically make a living and make some sort of life for himself from it.
But really, I think the issue, Kirby, is that they want to take it away from the small people who live in the community. They want to take the land away from the people who would manage it locally. And of course, that's the big issue out west as to who the land belongs to, who it should be, who the public lands should be managed by. And everybody is starting to wake up, I think, out west and say, these are public lands. They don't need to be managed by the federal government because they're doing a very poor job of it. And they are trying to expunge all of the individuals out of the area in an Agenda 21 kind of way, so they can turn this over to large corporations who will obliterate it for all uses that everybody has, completely destroy the area rather than use it responsibly. And I think if we want to have responsible use of the land, it is best done at the local level. So I think that's a very big movement. And when I said the BLM land, of course, that's the way the BLM is acting, as if it was their private property. And we need to understand that it isn't. And as you point out, there's constitutional cases to be made that the government doesn't have the right to keep this much land. And we all know that from a practical standpoint, it shouldn't.
How's it going, everybody? This is Sergeant Senator with the Arizona State Militia. Right now, we are en route to Oregon. Going to help out down there. Apparently, the BLM's coming through, trying to kick people out, trying to take over a gold mine with the American people. Plus, me and Blaine, we're not going to let that happen.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Blaine Cooper. We're in the car, we're driving right now, so it brings a whole new meaning to texting and driving. But anyway, there's a lot of opposition over there telling people to stand down and turn around. That is not true. Do not listen to him. This guy needs all the help he can get out there because he said he's never done anything like this before. So we as Americans need to get behind each other. That's what being Americans all about. We don't allow our neighbors to be enslaved or beaten or tortured by government jackboots because they want to steal our land and our resources and keep us under their thumb. So his name's Joseph Rice, correct?
Joseph Rice.
If you guys do not hear anything from anybody but Joseph Rice, he is the contact. He's the only the only person you guys listen to. If anybody else says anything different, it's not true. Don't listen to him. We've already talked to him. He's our contact. We already told him we're on our way. We got security teams on their way. We even got some heavy hitters on their way. We won't tell you who because we got OSPAT. So anyway, you guys, this is Blaine Cooper. Make sure this video gets out. We are standing off with the BLM in Oregon, Grants, Oregon, over a gold mine. Can't let the Chinese or the government have the gold. It belongs to the people. All right, guys, Blaine Cooper, I'm out.
Tensions are running high up here at this gold mine where there's a standoff with the BLM. The contact information has been left here, put out by Blaine Cooper in camp, and he posted this just as he made his way in, I'm guessing. It was posted right around the same time he said that he was there and everyone was safe, saying that this is not a drill, it's a real deal. Once again, not for the faint-hearted. They are there. Others are on the ground. They have their units in place, as you can see right here. And they're stressing that, you know, they don't want to label this a standoff. They don't want it hostile by no means. They want to be professional. They're saying anyone that wants to come and show support. The camp information is all listed, as you can see right here. And I'll leave links so you guys that are interested and want to go up here and support this can get in touch with them and take it from there. Right now, it's a day-by-day basis. That's how it goes in these situations. I mean, if they just go there and they turn around and they leave, it's kind of like defeats the purpose. So they're looking to be camped out here for however long it takes. They're saying be prepared. It is rugged terrain up here.